It will going to store the data and instruction only when the power supply is on, which is used to store the intermediate data, or which is used to store the data and instruction which is currently being used for the processing. If the number of clock ticks per second is more, then the CPU performance also will be high. Primary memory is further classified into two types, that is RAM and ROM. Hello everyone, myself Rohini TS, Computer Science Faculty, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysuru. So in previous session we had a discussion regarding the components of a motherboard. So in this session I will be continuing with the next topic, that is memory. So welcome all of you to the session 5. So in this session I will be discussing regarding what do you mean by memory and what are all the types of memory and how it will be differentiated. So let me get into the session right now. So in this session I will be discussing regarding what do you mean by memory, and there are two types of memory, that is primary memory and secondary memory. So then I am going to discuss regarding the types of primary memory. Then difference between RAM and ROM, then what do you mean by secondary memory, then what are all the difference between primary and secondary memory. So coming to the mapping of this memory, we are having two kinds of memory, that is primary memory and secondary memory. So coming to this primary memory, so this primary memory is also known as internal memory. So this is also known as what? Internal memory, and the secondary memory is also known as external memory. Okay, primary memory is also known as internal memory, then the secondary memory is also known as external memory. So this primary memory or internal memory has been further classified into three types. So there we can see it comes under RAM, ROM and then cache memory. So along with this we have registers. Registers also one of the type of primary memory or internal memory. So coming to this secondary memory, so it will be classified or it will be grouped as what? Hard disk drive, CD drives, pen drives or any other permanent media that we are going to store the data, that is comes under secondary memory. So in primary memory it is further classified into RAM, ROM, cache memory along with registers. So this RAM is further classified into two types, DRAM and SRAM. Again this DRAM is further classified into SDRAM and DDR-SDRAM. So now we'll see one by one. So coming to the memory, so as we all know that memory is one of the important component of a computer system. Once the processing is done, then the data or instruction must be stored in the memory unit. So that we require memory. Then we'll see what do you mean by memory here. It is nothing but what? It is a electronic storing space. So there I can store data and instructions. That is known as what? Memory. So there are two kinds of memory that we are commonly use, that is primary memory and it is also known as main memory or else internal memory. And coming to the second one, that is secondary memory. So this secondary memory is also known as what? External memory or auxiliary memory. Okay, so let me get into this primary memory right now. So what do you mean by primary memory? So this primary memory is nothing but it is a main memory of the computer system. It will going to store the programs and data temporarily. It is very speed and it is expensive and it has a capacity to store minimum data and instructions. So those are all the points that you need to remember regarding this primary memory. It is much faster and it is able to store minimum data and it is costlier or expensive. And it will going to store the data or it will going to hold the data and instruction temporarily. So this primary memory is also known as volatile memory. What do you mean by this volatile? It will going to store the data and instruction only when the power supply is on. Once the power supply is cut down, then it doesn't have any ability to store the data and instruction. That means we are going to lose the data once the power supply is off. That is known as what? Volatile memory. So the primary memory is what? Volatile memory. So what are all the things which is contained in this primary memory? So this primary memory will going to hold the data which is resides in the system software. Mainly in system software, there we have operating system, and it also holds the data and instruction which is given by the user by the input device, and it will going to hold the data for the processing, and it will going to hold the data which is to be displayed on the output screen. Okay, so these are all the contents which is resides in the primary memory. It is faster, it is expensive, and it has the ability to hold minimum data. Okay, so it is not able to hold bulk amount of data or large amount of data. It will going to hold only limited data or instruction. That is nothing but what? Primary memory. So this primary memory is further classified into two types. Then what are the types of primary memory? RAM and ROM. So what is this RAM? That is nothing but random access memory. And this ROM is nothing but read-only memory. Okay. So primary memory is further classified into two types, that is RAM and ROM. So coming to the RAM. So RAM is nothing but what? Random access memory. It is a volatile memory. So as I said earlier, volatile in the sense data and instruction will get erased or lost when the power supply is off. So this RAM memory or RAM will going to hold the data and instruction which is currently required for the processing. It is also expensive and it will able to store minimum data or limited data. Okay. So this RAM is further classified into two types. That is nothing but what? Static RAM and dynamic RAM. So that is also known as SRAM and DRAM. Okay. So now we'll see what do you mean by this static RAM. So static RAM is a chip which is used in cache memory. So cache memory is a high speed memory which is used to store the intermediate data, or which is used to store the data and instruction which is currently being used for the processing. That is known as what? Cache memory. So this RAM is usually used in the cache memory which is required for current processing of the data and instruction. So because it is high speed memory, RAM is what? High speed memory. When compared to ROM, RAM is very speed. Okay. So and it will going to store the data and information as long as the power supply is on. That means that is nothing but what? Volatile in nature. It is volatile in nature. It will going to hold the data and instruction only when the power supply is on. That is known as what? Static memory, which comes under the types of RAM. Coming to the next type of RAM, that is nothing but what? Dynamic random access memory. So it is a type of RAM. The abbreviation is dynamic random access memory. It is most commonly used a type of memory chip, and it is cheaper than the SRAM because SRAMs are mainly used in the cache memory. That cache memory will going to hold the data which is currently being processed by the CPU. So that it is more expensive, and this DRAM is cheaper when compared to this SRAM, and it also consumes a less power, less electricity power in order to read and write the data or in order to hold the data and instructions. So it is used as transistors and capacitors. So this dynamic RAM will going to use transistors and capacitors. Okay. So RAM is divided into two parts, that is SRAM and DRAM. So this DRAM is again further classified into two types, that is SDRAM and DDR-RAM. Here you can see that here we have RAM. So RAM is further classified into two types, SRAM and DRAM. So this DRAM is nothing but what? Dynamic random access memory. So this again classified into two types. So RAM is divided into two parts or two types, that is SRAM and DRAM. So this DRAM is further classified into two types, that is SDRAM and DDR-RAM. So let me get into this SDRAM. So SDRAM, what is the abbreviations or expansion of this SDRAM? That is Synchronous Dynamic Random Access Memory. So which is a type of DRAM, that is dynamic RAM. So abbreviation of SDRAM or SDRAM stands for what? Synchronous Dynamic Random Access Memory. So it is mainly synchronizes to the system clock. Already we had a discussion regarding what is clock speed and how it will be measured. If the number of clock ticks is more, then the CPU's performance will be high. That is known as what? Clock speed. Okay, so this SDRAM or synchronous dynamic RAM will going to have a communication, or SDRAM is synchronized to the system clock. Already we had a discussion regarding system clock or clock speed. If the number of clock ticks per second is more, then the CPU performance also will be high. Okay, so this SDRAM or synchronous dynamic RAM is have a communications or synchronizes with the system clock. So this SDRAM is synchronized to the CPU and it knows when the next cycle is coming, and it knows what are the data and instruction which is to be processed further. So it will going to have a scheduling processes, it will have a control over the system clock, and it knows that which cycle is coming next. That means what are all the data and instruction which is needs to be further processed. That is comes under SDRAM. So DDR-RAM, that is nothing but what? Double data rate random access memory. It is also one of the type of dynamic RAM. So the abbreviations or stands for DDR-RAM is nothing but what? Double data rate random access memory. So this works same as the SDRAM and it also synchronizes with the system clock, but here the data transfer rate is double. So for example, if I am communicating by using SDRAM, so if the data rate is 2, so when it comes to the DDR-RAM, at that time data rate will be 4. That means the double than the SDRAM. That is comes under what? DDR-RAM, double data rate random access memory. So here it will going to transfer the data, or data transfer rate will be double when it compares to the SDRAM. Okay, this DDR-RAM is further classified into DDR1, DDR2 and DDR3. It's all about RAM. So RAM is further classified into two parts, SRAM and DRAM, that is static RAM and dynamic RAM. So again that dynamic RAM is further classified into two types, SDRAM and DDR-RAM. So we are done with this RAM part. Now we'll see what you mean by ROM. So ROM stands for what? That is read-only memory. As the name indicates, read-only memory in the sense we cannot write the data. That means we cannot write the data. We can only fetch the information which is resides in the memory. We cannot alter or we cannot delete or modify the data which is in the ROM. That can be only read by the user or the computer system. So ROM is non-volatile memory. Non-volatile in the sense what? It will going to store the data and instruction even when the power supply is off, or we are not going to lose the data and instruction which is resides in the ROM even when the power supply is off. That is known as what? Non-volatile memory. It will going to store the data and information in a permanent manner. Okay, so when you want to store the data permanently, at that time it will going to hold the data by using ROM. So RAM will going to hold the data temporarily. When the power supply is off, at that time it will going to lose the data and instructions. But in ROM, it will going to store the data permanently. Okay, it's regarding ROM. So we are done with what? Primary memory. So primary memory is the fastest memory and it will going to store the data and information which is currently being processed by the CPU, and it is much faster, more expensive, and it has a limited capacity. So what if I want to store the large amount of data or bulk amount of data or mass amount of data? At that time I need to go with this secondary memory. So secondary memory is also known as external memory. So apart from the primary memory, we are able to have a further memory in order to store the large amount of data. That is known as what? Secondary memory. We have several names for the secondary memory. It is also known as expansion memory or external memory or auxiliary memory. So this secondary memory is also known as auxiliary memory. Why we require this kind of memory? It is mainly used to store the bulk amount of data or large amount of data or mass data. That means the data and instructions or information will be more that cannot be handled or held by the primary memory. At the time we need to go with this secondary memory. Okay, so it has a much larger capacity than the main memory. So anyway it will going to store the bulk amount, in the sense it has more capacity than the primary memory. But when compared to the primary memory, this secondary memory will be slow. Why? Because it will going to hold the data and information in a bulk amount. For further processing or to read and write the data, it will take more time, so that it will be slower. Okay, so what are all the data which comes under this secondary memory? So we can have hard disk drive. So the components are the drives or any other pen drives, CD, magnetic disk, or all the secondary type or secondary memory type that has the ability to hold the data permanently. Once it is copied to that secondary memory, until we are going to delete that, then the data and instructions or any other information that will be there in the secondary memory itself, so that it will going to hold the data permanently. So what are all the memory that comes under this secondary memory is compact disk, that is CD, then pen drive, memory cards. So these are all the most commonly used secondary memory device. Here you can see a several difference between the primary memory and secondary memory. So here we are going to differentiate both based on their working procedure and its capacity, and whether it is speed or slow, and what are all the ability or capacity to hold the data and instructions, and what are all the types of components which comes under primary or secondary memory, and whether it is volatile or non-volatile. Based on all these parameters, we are going to compare, or we are going to have a division or difference between the primary and secondary memory. So here you can see the difference between primary memory and secondary memory. So as I told earlier, primary memory is also known as main memory or internal memory. Then what is the another name for this secondary memory? Right, that is external memory or auxiliary memory. So as I told earlier, if you want to execute any data and process, that must be in the primary memory. Then only CPU will going to have a control or access with the primary memory, then it will going to fetch the data. But what if my data and instructions is in the secondary memory? At that time that data must be copied to the primary, then CPU will going to have a communications or a data transfer between the primary memory with CPU. So that is the second point. Data is directly accessed by the processing unit. But if the data and instruction in the secondary memory, then that must be transferred to the primary memory first. Then it will going to have a control, or it will going to process the data. Then coming to the next point, how to store the information in a primary memory. So we are going to use semiconductor chips in order to store the data and information. But here in the secondary memory, I can use magnetic disk, optical disk, or any other optical media in order to store the information. So, and informations are stored temporarily. That means it is volatile in nature. That is, it will going to hold the data and instruction only when the power supply is on. But that is not in the case of secondary memory. It will going to store the data in a permanent manner until we are going to delete it. Okay, so that is the difference between primary and secondary memory. And here data operated and stored in uniform manner. That means everything will be serialized in the primary memory, but the data stored is not in the uniform form in the secondary memory. That means that is random. We can access as our wish. Okay, that is the difference between primary and secondary memory. And coming to the next point of this primary memory, it is more expensive. Anyway, RAM comes under what? Primary memory. That is more expensive than the secondary memory. So the secondary devices or secondary storage medias are cheaper when compared to the primary memory. Okay. So coming to the next point, the nature of parts of primary memories varies. That means RAM is volatile in nature and ROM is non-volatile in nature. Okay. So there we have two types, RAM and ROM, in the primary memory itself. But RAM is volatile in nature, but ROM is non-volatile in nature. So coming to this, it has a interacting with microprocessor. Microprocessor is nothing but what? A tiny chip which will going to have a overall computation part. Okay, that means everything will be same in the secondary memory, that is non-volatile in nature. But in primary memory, RAM is nothing but volatile and ROM is non-volatile. So primary memory has limited storage capacity. Why we have invented this secondary storage? Due to this lack of storage capacity. That means this primary memory has a limited storage capacity. It will going to hold the data and instruction which is currently being processed by the CPU. But the secondary memory will going to have it will going to store large or bulk amount of data in a single unit. So this is a main important difference between the primary and secondary memory. Then what are all the examples for primary and secondary memory then? RAM, ROM, cache memory, PROM, that is comes under types of ROM, and EPROM registers or comes under primary memory. Getting? And coming to this secondary memory, magnetic tapes, optical disk, floppy disk and flash memory, that is USB drives, pen drives or punch cards, which is comes under secondary memory. So these are the very important difference between primary and secondary memory. Yes, in today's session we had a discussion regarding primary and secondary memory. So in primary memory there are two types, RAM and ROM. After that, RAM is further classified into two types, SRAM and DRAM, and this DRAM is further classified into SDRAM and DDR-RAM. Again we have this ROM, that is non-volatile in nature. After that coming to the secondary memory, which is used to store the large amount of data. After that we had a discussion regarding this difference between primary and secondary memory. Yes, it's all about today's session. I am going to meet you in the last session of your first chapter, that is typical configuration of a computer system. So until that, keep going, keep on growing. Thank you.